गुफा घुम्न आएको गाइस पुरै पानी परेर भिजियो होइन पार्किङ लटबाट यहाँ टिकट काउन्टरसम्म आउँदाखेरि सर्लकै भिजियो जाडो भयो प्लास्टिकको ब्यागहरू थैलो लिएर अनि गइन्छ होइन के रियल जस्तो छ त यार यो के हो रियलै हो त दाइ
यो त जिप लाइन हो कि
होइन के माथि टाउको माथि गर्नु न रियल देखिया त मेरो हर्न के यता के अरे यो डियर के
रियल
भन्छ अब रेनकोट ओढ्ने कुद्ने यस्तो दिन आयो पानीले च्यातेको रहेछ क्या त्यस्तो हो के भन्नुहुन्छ फिक्स
होला हेल
यस्तो पनि किन्न पर्ने दिन अब यहाँ यस्तो जिप लाइन यस्तो कडा रहेछ अब यो पानी पऱ्यो खेल्न पाइएन क्या रमाइलो हुन्थ्यो आज पार्कमा के गर्ने त पानीले पुरै यस्तो त बिजोग छ है
आउनुपर्छ अरे एउटा मिलाएर
अर्को बिदामा कस्तो राम्रो दिन मिलाएर आएको पानी परेर पार्क चाहिँ सही रहेछ यहाँ त ठ्याक्कै नेपालको याद आयो त यार खोला सल्ल खोला बगेको है पार्कमा पानी परेर दिमाग खराब गरायो ल जुत्ता त पच्याक भइसक्यो पुरै पानीमा गडेर भित्रसम्मै चिसो पसिसक्न लाग्यो भान्जा के छ त राय के भन्नुहुन्छ यो विषयमा पानीले ल्याङ गरायो नि होइन कस्तो रमाइलो हुन्थ्यो आज यार अब पानीले बिजोग बनायो ल यहाँ भान्जाको यस्तो अवस्था छ है ल हेर्नुहोस् भान्जाको अवस्था हजुरलाई त ठिक भएछ नि मेरो त जुत्ता भित्रै 5 चिसो पस्न लागिसक्यो यार यता हाई भन्नु एकचोटि के हो यस्तो हजुरको अवस्था हेर्न पर्यो नि त अनि यहाँ बिजोग भयो त पानीले के हो कुरो भेटिएको गर्दा है
यस्तो खोल्दाखेरि यो पहिला पहिला माइनिङ गर्ने
हिरामतीहरू
हेर्नु जाबेदीको पर्छ भित्र
यस्तो राम्रो राम्रो सामानहरू हुन्छ यार होइन यस्तो गिफ्ट किन्ने सजाउने खालको क्या के भन्नुहुन्छ भान्जाले यो रकहरू के हो त यस्तो चट्टान ढुङ्गा यहाँ यस्ता ढुङ्गा बेचिरहेछ नि अन्त $25 मा यस्तो ढुङ्गा बेचिरहेछन् होइन के हो यो यस्तो कडा बनाएर रहेछ नि यहाँ त पानीको टक्क गएर राउन्ड यस्तो गएर उताबाट घुमेर सर घुमिराख्दो रहेछ है यताको साइडमा पनि यस्तै छ यो पनि खतरा भयो ल दुधहरू चाहिँ उहाँ पुगिसक्नु भयो यस्तो हालतमा अब यसरी प्लास्टिक ओढेर भिज्दै हिँड्न पर्ने भयो माहौल आजको पुरै पानीले गर्दा खतम बनायो नि त अब पार्क चाहिँ एकदम कडा रहेछ अब के गर्ने पार्क चाहिँ लास्ट कडा रहेछ त है तर हाम्रो डे चाहिँ ब्याड डे भयो क्या आज के भन्नुहुन्छ यसमा
अल्टी स्पेन्ड गर्न ठाउँ नि
क्वालिटी स्पेन्ड कपाल आउनेहरू ठाउँ रहेछ होइन खतरा पार्कै छ यार जङ्गलमा खोला त्यहाँ नेपालको जस्तै खोला यार ठ्याक्कै के भन्नुहुन्छ भान्जाले गर्लफ्रेन्ड लिएर आउनु पर्यो नि भान्जाले यहाँ यस्तो ठाउँमा त हजुर आउने ठाउँ रहेछ नि यो त हामी त सिङ्गल मान्छे आएर के काम के भन्नुहुन्छ नेक्स्ट पटक आउने हो नि त गर्लफ्रेन्डसँग हजुर पानी पनि यस्तो असारको झरीला जस्तो भयो
The place are going to be wet. They're also steep. We'll be descending over 190 steps today too. So it will be very important that you watch your steps while we go down. Finally, at the end of the tour, when we exit from 100th room in that cavern, there's a section that goes about 300 feet to the south before collapsing. Now this indicated to the Weiss family, which owns the property, and the explorers that were exploring it, that there might be more passages to the south. Now they looked around at the surface level here and they weren't able to find any sort of natural entrances. So that left them with one other option in their exploration, and that was to drill holes. So they drilled pilot holes 200 feet into the ground in an attempt to find this cavern. Only about 6 inches wide, these holes. The first 3 times they chose the spot, dug 200 feet down, and they found nothing. So each time they would pick up the rig, move on to another spot. Miles, and we named the first room that they found after them. We took the first 2 initials of each of their first names, Jack, Reggie, Miles, Jeremy. It's the Jeremy room. And that'll be our first room that we'll see on tour. It's a spectacular room. It's super, super cool. With that in mind, any questions before we head inside? All good? It is going to be wet. Most of the pathways are textured, kind of like this, but I do recommend using that handrail throughout, just in case. If you guys are ready, we'll head on down.
अरू जिम्मा बरु समातेर क्यारी खिच्ने पनि फोन स्ट्यान्ड आइएन अब चाहिँ हामी गुफामा जाँदै हो
हामीलाई एक्साइटेड हुनुहुन्छ भित्रको जाडो होइन गर्मी थियो
Yep.
You only 85 degree temperature.
We are entering through a tunnel piece.
तातो छ नि त भित्र
So I'm going to let you guys go on down first.
होइन त्यो जमिन पनि तातो हुन्छ नि जति गहिरोमा गइन्छ त्यति तातो हुन्छ नि जमिनभित्र
ढिले बसेको है तर त्यो उ गर्दाखेरि
अहिले यहीँ यस्तो बसा यार सास गर्ने गाह्रो जस्तो
Yeah, this rain's no joke.
यस्तो चिप्लो रहेछ गाडी गुफाभित्र चाहिँ पुरै रोड हेर्नु यस्तो चिप्लिएर लगेला जस्तो रहेछ होइन पानी बगेर रहेछ गुफा चाहिँ लास्ट कराएर ढोका सोका हालेर रहेछ भित्र
Now it is pretty humid right here, but believe it or not, these are what lock in that 99% humidity. We're about to enter that full.
भित्र चाहिँ यस्तो रहेछ है गुफाभित्र
Pouring in. Come on in, guys.
लास्ट कडा गुफा रहेछ यार
Please watch your step.
चिप्लेर लगाउँदा अन्त पुरै कपडा भिज्छ यार
The majority of the water.
पानी पुगेर यस्तो गुफा है के हो यो ढुङ्गाको लाइन है चट्टान काटेर खतरा बनाएको यार त्यही त
बनाएको होइन नेचुरल लुगाले
सबै कुरा नेचुरल हो यो
त्यही त नेचुरल के भयो
लाइट त
होइन नसुनाउनु
कहीँ टच नगर्ने भन्छ ओहो डेन्जर भास रहेछ यार तल हेर्नु त ओ माई डर लाग्दो रहेछ यार लास्ट कुरा यार लास्टै खतरा रहेछ यार लास्टै खतरा यार एन त तल हो बाप्रे दादा कडा हो रहेछ के होइन
भित्र चाहिँ पानी पनि सक्दैन
पानीमा माथिबाट चाहिँ नचिन्दो रहेछ होइन लास्टै डर लाग्दो रहेछ यार तल हेर्नु त कहाँ हो ओहो
If they grow tall enough, they might reach the ceiling above it. Now, both of those are known as dripstones, so they're formed through dripping water over time. But right here in the center of my light, you'll see some flowstone there, so it looks kind of like a frozen waterfall. You'll also see some of those crystals shining on the outside. So, good amount of the formations will have a matte texture on the outside, but they are all crystallized just like that.
महेन्द्र गुफा फलप खुवाउने गुफा रहेछ
हिँड्दै चमेर टाउका बिग्रिन्छ
हो न चन्द्र गुफा है अनि त यस्तो कडा रहेछ यहाँ
And just remember, all this that you're seeing, 1 cubic inch per 100 years on average. So a lot of that
Yes,
blue
to कडा
stone in
गुफा
the center of the room
चाहिने
indicated
फेरि
to us
यहाँ
there was a lot of flowing water in here.
यहाँले ब्रुमस्टिक फर्मेसन्स
More of those broomsticks. We can actually see where some of those broomsticks connected to a stalactite above it. So that makes a column. So just like pillars or columns in a building. And they just keep growing outward after that.
So how often that?
Pretty rarely. You can kind of see a little crack in the side of this one. So that would be where this is kind of built up on top of a lot of rubble like this, called breakdown. Now, over time, as this got heavier, the breakdown under it may have shifted.
चाहिँ एउटा माथिबाट है अस्टै कडा गुफा छ कडा गुफा यो होल छ नि यो होल चाहिँ अघि माथि हामी टपमा त्यो सर्फेसमा
Pretty cool, right?
निस्केको होलको चाहिँ यहाँ देखिँदो रहेछ कि
Now you can see with how close it is to the wall here, if they had drilled 5 to 10 feet that direction, they may have missed this room.
हामी झरेको चाहिँ उहाँ माथिबाट है त्यस्तो बाटो झरेर यस्तो छ यस्तो ठाडे यस्तो त सिँढी बनाएर चाहिँ एकदम राम्रो होइन अझै कति छ 900 स्टेप भन्थ्यो यस्तो
Now off over here, the light that's kind of going in and out over there, that's a pincushion helictite. Named it the pincushion because it looks like a pincushion. Helictites are those pin-shaped formations. So those are formed through capillary action. So little capillaries in the formation push the water through under pressure. And depending on the pressure at which it exits that formation, it will determine what direction the little needles grow.
डेन्जर रहेछ क्या भन्दा होइन जति गयो त्यति तल तल छ यहाँ यो यस्तो आकृति नि कस्तो कस्तो बनेको हो सब यो चट्टान रक ढुङ्गा ध्वजमाला लाएर होइन सबै दलेर लास्टै खतरा बनेको आफै
So yeah, down below here, this is called Diamond River. Because of all the flow stone and the crystal. Well, my geologists are rather literal when it comes to naming things.
Oh my gosh.
लास्ट कडा बनेको यार के हो यस्तो
So yeah, our next little pit stop here, bottom of the Jeremy room. We're now 130 feet below the surface. It's pretty deep in the ground. From here we can kind of make out the shape of this room. So see, it's kind of rounded out down here. And towards the ceiling, it actually gets slightly narrower, nothing too dramatic, but ever so much it does get narrower and it gives it kind of a dome shape. So this is known as a breakout dome. And that's where through a series of collapses that occurred in here over time, this room naturally settled into a dome shape. It has not shifted since. Now, part of the evidence of the stability of the room would be all that flow stone that I indicated to you guys at the center of the room that you guys saw here as we sort of made our way down. Remember, 1 cubic inch per 100 years on average. This has been growing on top of this breakdown for quite some time, indicating to us that the room has not shifted in quite some time, because if it had, a good amount of it would be buried under rubble today. Now, breakout dome is also one of the best shaped room closet. All the broomstick formations, so another creative name for our geologists. And up ahead here, it is going to get pretty low, so please watch your heads.
कहाँ आयो भान्जा के भन्नुहुन्छ त भान्जाको विषयमा के यार माथि
Now this room up ahead has a lot of really cool stuff. So first thing I'm going to point out, I'm going to have you guys stay right about here. light it up from behind so you can see it. There's our cave bacon. And then I'll invite you guys to kind of come on in so everybody can see it. Yeah, cave bacon right there. Exactly. So it gets its name because of those coloration, those colored bands that you see. Yeah. So all that coloration you see, those bands, are caused by humic acids. Those are formed during periods of heavier decomposition up at the surface. So that water picks that up too, and it causes the darker bands to appear. The lighter bands would be a sign that there was less decomposition. So our geologists will typically use those as examples. They'll actually take samples of them, use that to study the environment of the past. As well, we've got some cave popcorn here, a lot of food items. That's formed through splashing and seeping water.
Popcorn, stone popcorn.
And then if anybody is a fan of elote, street corn.
Oh yeah.
Got that right there.
They look so delicate.
And they can be, especially these silica become columns. Now, the more pure the calcite is, the more clear it will appear. So we've got some really pure calcite. Then, like that cave bacon, where you get those bands of dark, any of that coloration you see is coming from different organic material or impurities. Another really, really cool thing right above you guys. That see how it kind of sparkles? That what is presumably rock. That is known as paleokarst. And paleokarst are formations that existed in, like I believe maybe Carlsbad Caverns. So these ones form in pools of water. These are called dog's tooth spars. So they grow to look kind of like little dog's teeth.
Dog's teeth?
Yeah.
Which one?
Yeah. So once these guys get a look at it, I'll let them get ahead of. Once you guys get a good look at it, I'll have you guys move ahead so that the next person can see. Yeah.
Some pieces are
Dog's
reminding,
tooth spar.
some pieces are reminding of coal.
Yeah, kind of like.
अन्धकार छ त्यहाँ त ओहो लास्टै भप्पै रहेछ यहाँ
It's kind of ironic that it kind of replicates what
ट्रास क्यानहरू पनि
may
रहेछ
have
यहाँ
been at some point in time.
टेलिफोन पनि रहेछ नि त्यहाँ टेलिफोन पनि रहेछ है यहाँ
Yes, yeah, so organic matter and sediment layers combined, yeah. And oftentimes you'll find clay, so in our blend roads like, so given the success rate of submersibles lately, I would say that this is probably the safer of the two. But yeah, well...
फाइनली यो कि अझै भित्र छ ल है अझै भित्र गएर राइडमा
Not at all, I see something new every single day. Can I find something new once in a while?
डर लाग्दो खोज रहेछ के भान्जा होइन
To your left, that's the Pipe Morgan Formation. And if you guys ever visit Lorry Caverns in Virginia, they've got a similar formation called the Pipe Morgan. And they've actually tubed it and...
थियो यस्तो उता खुल्ला जमिन देखिएको लाइटै हो
बन्द नेचुरल होइन
because it's still actively growing now.
खुल्ला निस्किने ठाउँ छैन फर्किने हो
होइन बनाएको हो कि नेचुरली छैन कि निकाल्नु
यताबाट रहेछ नि त यिनीहरूले यो खोपेर बनायो भने त पछि यताको
Yep, and they have no eyesight and very little pigmentation. Same with springtails and mites. Springtails, they do have pigmentation. Mites, pretty clear. Our friends, the cave crickets, they've got pigmentation. They've also got eyesight. Their adaptations are limited to their antenna and their legs being longer. They can kind of feel around. And so we are in a drought here in this part of Texas, so the pools do dry out typically. So because of that, that's the extent of our sea life or aquatic life. Flash flood warning. Okay. And it even gets to the microscopic level. So even on a smaller level scale, we've got cave adapted species. One other one that's not highlighted here that is kind of odd but makes sense. Cockroaches.
I'm wondering that.
Caves.
cockroaches.
There we go. That's the other end of the canyon down below there.
अघि त्यो उताबाट देखिएको होल चाहिँ यहाँ रहेछ होइन पछि चाहिँ यहाँ त यिनीहरूले बनाएको रहेछ कि
Alright guys, so
All
I
छ त
decided
यहाँ
to
त
play a little game when we get to this room called Name That Room. Any guesses? Bingo. Yep. I'd say about 50% of my tours guess it right. But yeah, this is called the ballroom. Now it gets its name for a couple reasons. They only grow in very, very certain ideal conditions. And once those conditions fade, they'll actually start to splinter and break, and then they sink to the bottom. But then they keep growing.
पानी आइरहेको थियो यार यहाँ पानी पिएर पनि त आएको ल आइगयो एक्जिट आइयो है अब हामी बल्ल एक्जिट इट्स गोइङ अप
Alright, so if you guys want to get it loaded up right over here, I'm going to call up, get it started. It'll take about 10-15 seconds to get up to speed, and then I'll start calling you guys.
ओके ठाडो रहेछ नि त
Ready to start?
चलो होइन
And then once it's steady, you'll stop. Walking up, and once it's steady, you'll stop.
दुध के छ ठिक छ नि ल सेन्जिडी दुध कता हो दुधले के भन्नुहुन्छ मलाई हिँडिदिन्छु यसमा ड्याङ ड्याङ स्टेप ब्यालेन्स हुनपर्छ केही हुन्न कि यस्तो छिटो हिँडिदिएको म हेर्नु यसरी आया हो र उकालो भयो कति लामो लिफ्ट हो यार यो दुध अलिक चाँडो आउनु दौडिनु हेत्तेरी वहीँ हुनुहुन्छ अझै यार अलिक स्लो भयो नि यहाँ होइन लास्टै होइन उकालो एकदम भयो कि यसको क्यापासिटी कति हो त कतिजना मान्छेसम्म यसमा एकचोटि हुन्छ जति पनि अन्त वेटको त समस्या हुन्न होला एक्जिट आइयो है ल हामी निस्किँदा खतरा गुफा रहेछ यार खतरा डोजरको चेन जस्तो फिल भयो नि तल होइन डोजरको चेन के लाखवटा बनाएको यार ल यस्तो दामी है ल सल्ल ल हेर्नु पानी परेर आज यस्तो बिजोग भयो यार अझै पानी पर्दैछ दुजहरू यहीँ